tower of symmetrical shapes. A tower that certainly lives up to its name and is now around 1.5 years old. Despite the lack of info, let's at least attempt to examine its history and figure out its impact and why the planned revamp hasn't happened in over a year. So let's begin simple. Tower of Symmetrical Shapes is an ascension-based difficulty tower that is located in Ring 1. It was a duo collab tower made by Z-Man2006OP and Roblox God Potato. It's one of the only two difficult towers that exist in the game, with the only other one being Tower of Coolness in Dimension 1. The tower was started on December 9th, 2020. Way more into the past than I thought. The main theme of the tower is the shape of its frame. On the red part, it's an ascending half made by Z that has that specific upside down L shape. On the other half, it's a blue descending portion made by Potato, and it's basically flipped in reverse. Geometrically speaking, they're still symmetrical because they're the same length. Pretty nice play on its name. Going into the tower, we can already tell the gameplay is pretty dated, which makes sense considering how old the tower is. It's very empty on both halves, but the first half seems way more punishing and jank. The development process of the tower is unfortunately lost to us, but things get quite interesting after the tower got reviewed. When the tower got reviewed 15 days after submission, it passed with a 22.5 score and was added to the whitelist. Since it was just about the right difficulty to be slotted into the Ring 1 confirmed towers list, it got in and was added into the game. It was the second to last tower to be put in, with the last tower being the aforementioned Tower of Click Construction in my first History of ZToA video. Funnily enough, it was the only tower in the ring where bugs were present in it, with a bunch of missing parts. As time progressed though, the quality of the tower started to dwindle away. Not only was it pretty hard for its difficulty, a lot of the sections were low quality and feel dated and unnecessarily empty and bland. Potato and Z came to an agreement that Tower of Symmetrical Shapes will get a revamp. It's unsure when, but thanks to Discord search feature I'm able to estimate it was planned all the way back to February 9th to February 10th of 2021. Clearly they seem to be thinking of ideas for the revamp already, and Z and Potato were prepared to make the tower better. But that's the problem. They were prepared for the revamp, but not for the horrible period of tower building called motivation loss. Now just a heads up, if and only if they actually do work on and finish a revamp of Tower Symmetrical Shapes, then this section will be outdated, and you could just skip to the next section. But nevertheless, it had been a year since that agreement, and since then, nothing was going on involving Tower Symmetrical Shapes. In a Discord call from August or September, Potato mentions about the Tower Symmetrical Shapes revamp not being made in a long time, and Z responds with the fact that he has no ideas or any motivation to work on it. Neither did Potato. See, when outside factors start affecting how busy you are and how much motivation you have for things, it could get pretty messy. Well, Z had to do a lot of things, such as reviewing and confirming towers for Dimension 1, making lobbies, making music, and more things even outside of his computer itself. Potato also had to go through a lot of busyness, and some were a little more extreme than others. Since they couldn't come up with ideas, nor did they have the motivation to start the project, the long-awaited revamp just never bothered to arrive. As time progressed, people's anticipation slowly began to fade, and today, well, no one seems bothered to even ask about it. This is a clear example of how some factors, internal or external, can influence motivation, usually in a negative way. With that said, The current Tower of Symmetrical Shapes will continue to sit in Ring 1, receiving some hate, and the planned revamp forever thrown into obscurity. So what if Tower of Symmetrical Shapes was never made? Well, nothing significant really. The only major effect is that since there's not a lot of difficulty towers, the game would have been released way later. But that's really it. I wanted this to be more interesting, but I couldn't really. Nevertheless, Z and Potato, if you're watching this, you could just correct me or add more info for me in the comments. That'd be greatly appreciated. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of History of ZToA. I'll try to be creative with the next one. And I'll see you oofers later. Peace out.